Now that Kurt contributed on lyrics for the first time on Saint Anger CD, I don't know if you've ever written lyrics or helped lyrically with songs before your Metallica days, but will you be contributing for new material? If so, describe your process or style.
Wow. I have actually written lyrics previously, a little bit with Infectious Grooves, and then other various projects, but not with Ozzy, of course. Um, actually, but with Metallica, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd love to be able to. You know, we'll know when we get there. The door's open, I know that. And generally, like with the creative aspect of it, I mean, I get ideas from things that I read. I mean, magazine articles, anything, the newspaper, um, you know, lines that you pick up, you know, via television or on the street, whatever. You know, I think that's in generally how it goes for all of us. You know, there's cool things that you hear, you read about. So that's my inspiration.
Not only with the lack of radio play that Saint Anger got nationally, but even with the fact that the record company had to struggle for it, it had to feel a bit like the Kill 'Em All days. With that in mind, do you feel the band has come somewhat full circle from those days?
Well, to me, my opinion is that Metallica challenges themselves. Saint Anger is a challenging album, and it's obviously extremely challenging for radio. But the great thing is that Metallica knows what they're doing. I mean, we know what we're doing, but obviously when the album was written, you know, I wasn't a part of the creative process, but I know that, you know, the band paints their own picture and they know what they're getting involved with. And to me, Saint Anger is a launch pad for the future. And there are no real rules with this band, and that's what I love most about the band. Um, it's the stepping stone for what we're gonna do as a team. Um, yeah. Anyway, it's raw and it's in your face, and that's the most important thing.
What are the differences between playing live with Suicidal, Ozzy, in comparison with Metallica?
Well, I have to say this: Metallica is the most strenuous gig I've ever been involved with. And I mean that in a good way. The most challenging physically, for sure. For one thing, the stages are huge. With Ozzy, we were sort of designated to one area of the stage, and, which is true. You know, he didn't like us running around. He didn't want us in his zone. You know, I remember him actually at a meeting one time bringing that up to Joe Holmes and I, saying, you know, can you guys stay in your areas and not come in the middle so much? Just kind of stay where you are. And I know that sometimes with Zach, you know, Zach would run all over, and I think Ozzy kind of had a problem with that. I don't know why, but it's just his thing, and that's how he pretty much wanted it. With Metallica, it's the complete opposite. They want you to cover all angles of the stage. The more areas you cover, the better. And on the stage that we're on now, which is in the round, you know, that's a bit of a challenge, because for me as a bass player, there are sweet spots, and sometimes I need to stay close to those sweet spots so I can see Lars or I can hear myself better. But physically, I mean, definitely the most challenging situation. I mean, never is a gig less than 2 hours. Always more than 2 hours. Sometimes we get, you know, beyond 210. With Suicidal, the challenges were there, you know, in the music. The music was fast and relentless. But with Metallica, the music's fast, relentless, but there's also dynamics, a lot of dynamics involved, and there's a lot of technique involved. Um, so when you combine everything together, it ends up becoming like some kind of decathlon or athletic kind of marathon, you know, event with these guys. And that's why we have a chiropractor with us at all times to save us. Because physically, you know, it can be pretty demanding. But I love it. It's the best thing for me, man, because I'm pretty physical.
All the live shows for the Madly and Anger at the World Tour will be easily and quickly available to the public, so obviously Metallica's brought a mobile studio on the road with them this tour, but how often is this studio being used by the band to record new material?
Um, with the studio, I mean, we get about a half hour to 20 minutes every day, and the purpose of the studio is that there's spontaneous creativity being recorded, and that's what we've been doing. With James, especially, a lot of things, like he'll be dialing in his amplifier in the tuning room, and he'll start coming up with these grooves. He'll come up with these grooves, sort of at a moment's notice. And Lars, really, I mean, all of us, we like to capture the moment. Lars, in particular, really wanted to get this system going so that we could capture the moment. And I tell you, man, there has been so many amazing, crushing grooves that have gone down, and everyone's contributed. It hasn't been completely one-sided. It's been pretty collaborative, and we all just start jamming. And sometimes it makes us late for our performances, But I can honestly say that we're going to have a tough time because everything that I've heard thus far has been crushing to me, man. I think the Metallica fans are going to be pretty stoked when we step up and record.
What do you know about the book so far? The Good, the Mad, and the Ugly. So what?
I know that it's chronological. Well, it just captures sort of those key moments with the band over the last few years, as long as the mag's been around, which I believe might date back to like 93 or 94, or maybe I'm crazy and I'm wrong. Do you know?
I think it was, 6 years of the book magazine?
Warren,
no,
how
11.
long is the magazine?
11 years of So What? It's supposed to be 11.
So I said 93, 90.
11 years of So What? So
Yeah.
that was close.
Okay,
93,
that's good.
you're right.
I'm right. It covers the different angles and the I would say mostly the high points and a lot of the fun moments that the band has experienced, and it's been a good time, man. Stefan Shirazi and Nicholas and everyone involved, Vicky Strait, they've all been amazing with it. And we gotta definitely commend them on this. But it's going to be really cool. It's going to be a lot of fun, actually. That's the most important thing with the mag. It's all about fun, and it's sort of a day in the life, but on the fun end.
The movie, Some Kind of Monster, comes out in July. What was it like seeing yourself on the big screen for the first time?
That was really strange. I mean, I sort of appear, obviously, later on in the movie. So it was really interesting to see, the first couple hours of it and witness what went down with these guys with their guard down. It's just Metallica, like I said, with their guard down. I mean, everybody views Metallica as this indestructible force of metal, and for a lot of people of life, they're just, all angles of the band are viewed as indestructible. And this movie is very important because it's not about the music. It's not a concert movie or anything like that. It's based around the reality of this group and of the personalities involved. And it's very, very interesting. The band was really, really kind of uncomfortable about the whole thing in the beginning. We didn't really know how to take it. I mean, there were certain possibilities that were going to happen with the movie, but at the end of the day, the right decision was made. It's done real well in Sundance, and people are loving it. Not just Metallica fans, so it's a positive thing.
Before recording St. Anger, relationships were at an all-time low, yet unlike most bands, Metallica survived. Do you now believe in the old saying, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger?
Absolutely. In this business, I mean, in life, in anything, you got to be strong. That's always darkest before the dawn. And obviously, Metallica has seen that more than a couple of times. And that's the amazing thing about this band, the persistence. You know, they can bounce back and still survive. Um, it's amazing too because so often, for me, you know, even when I was on the outside, so many musicians that I think deep down inside had a lot of respect for Metallica always try to take pot shots at Metallica and bring Metallica down. But deep down inside, I think that the true respect was there. You know, so often people want to see other people brought down. You know, especially in the music business, especially in music, different bands and stuff. But Metallica's all about survival and strength and challenge, and it's so great to help them now, to you know, for the future, to be able to help them on the next wave and be a part of that.
In the documentary, Dave Mustaine says, I would give back anything to go back to 1982 and hear the band say, hey, Dave, you need to go to AA. Now, that made me personally think to myself, and how could it not, what would have Metallica sounded like today if, and how would that have changed at all?
Well, that's an interesting question. Obviously, Dave, you know, probably had quite a bit to do with Kill 'Em All. Um, Dave's a very talented man. He's a hell of a guitar player. I don't know. I mean, I think that Metallica is what it is because of the people that make up the band, the core of the band. You know, Lars, James, and Kirk together as a team have, you know, once again been through a lot. And creatively, there's something that's so special and magical about this unit. So it's really difficult to answer that. I think Metallica would have made great music. I don't know if the personalities would have clicked as well as they do, you know, with Kirk in the mix. You know, I couldn't see it any other way myself. You know, no disrespect to Dave, but things happen for a reason. You know, and here we are.
All right, this one's tough. In fact, I've been debating about whether or not I should even ask you this. But I know when you watch the movie, I'm thinking to myself, when I saw this part of the movie, something had to go through your mind, and that's really what I'm looking for. So keep in mind, this was said way before you came into the fold, but in the movie, Bob Rock says to Metallica, quote unquote, in my opinion, you will never ever find a permanent bass player. Comments?
It's possible. I mean, there's, you know, you had Cliff in the beginning, and obviously he's still a part of Metallica, 100%. Even through the Jason years, Cliff was still so much a part of Metallica, and I think it's quite possible that deep down in the hearts of Lars, James, and Kirk, you know, it's all about Cliff. I mean, I don't know that they would admit that, you know, but my feeling, and I think that's a great thing, you know, the spirit of Cliff is definitely in this band. He had so much to do, you know, obviously with the soul of this unit and creatively with this unit. I would like to think that my future with Metallica is solid and strong, and I can contribute, you know, not just on stage, but in my spirit and, you know, my soul to this unit, because I really feel it, and I love being a part of this. That's kind of what I get out of it. I mean, I could be wrong, though. You know, I don't know why. I could be totally wrong. Maybe he's sort of vibing on what went down with Jason and a lot of the I don't know. I don't want to use the word negative, but some of the more dramatic moments with him, you know, during those years, and maybe at the time that he said it, that's what was going on, and that's what he felt, and that's, you know, all they knew. I think we're at a different time now, and there's something real good going on here, and pretty positive. So maybe he changed that statement.
When you get to the level that Metallica's at now, when it comes to coming up with like tour ideas, I mean, is there a committee that approaches the band with ideas, or is it the band that comes up with the ideas and then someone else who just gets it all done, especially like considering the tour and the stage now?
Well, a lot of the ideas for this sort of thing come from band and definitely from management. Um, there is a great amount of respect given um, to the management and trust, especially I mean, not just in sort of the business side of things, but also in production and a lot of creative elements of the staging and stuff like that. And it's always been that way. Um, it's a very mutual thing. You know, whoever's got a great idea or whoever's got any kind of idea, it's open territory, and we're all um, sort of how do you say? We're all open to the right ideas, but there's definitely respect given to management when it comes to these things. So generally, it's between band and management that come up with the ideas. Dan Brown has a lot to do with it too. You know, he's the king of production, and we have a lot of fun with it, man. It's great. It's great for me to be a part of the meetings to see it all go down because this is new territory for me. So it's a lot of fun. It's actually like going to college. I always say this. It's not just musically, but in the business sense and in the production sense. It's like I'm in the best university I could ever go to. It's a learning experience.
What do you feel is Metallica's greatest accomplishment thus far since the band was formed way back in 1981?
Greatest accomplishment. There's been so many. This is a band of challenges. I mean, I respect everything this band's done. Some ballsy moves have been made. You know, I mean, recording with the symphony was something that was pretty intense, and now you got bands like Kiss doing it, and you know, I'm sure there's others. A lot of people kind of gave him shit for that, but at the end of the day, everybody respected him for it. You know, stepping up to like Napster and stuff. I thought that was pretty ballsy, and now everybody's looking back on that and going, "Wow, maybe Lars was right." You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. I mean, there's just too many things that are incredible accomplishment-wise. I mean, being able to maintain their signature and their attitude and conviction in their songwriting and maintain that and still pack them in live. I mean, it's amazing the amount of fans that are still here and everything. I mean, the fan club's amazing. That's a major accomplishment. How they've been able to work that angle and being so close and dialed in with their fans. I'd have to say maintaining that strength and that bond with their fans. I think that's one of the most special things that I've noticed. It's pretty amazing.
What has your first year with Metallica been like?
My first year with Metallica has been pretty amazing. It all goes back, and I might have said this before, it all goes back to when I first entered that room to a standing ovation with the guys. And Lars says, you know, hey, man, this is a locomotive. This is a freight train that's getting ready to take off. So get ready, hold on, because it's moving fast, and it doesn't stop. And I was like, oh, really? Huh, that's interesting. And I tell you, he was right, because it's been more intense than that for me. The spontaneity every night with the sets. You know, we change the set list every night. We're playing Dyer's Eve now. You know, we're getting into some crazier material. Some stuff the band hasn't played in 20 years, you know, and it's all about challenge now. It's not just about the elaborate stage show, but it's also about challenge. So these guys have been keeping me on my toes. Constantly, I find myself, you know, working on the music, you know, maybe an hour or two before the show, you know, because that's what they throw at me. So it's been a challenge. I'd have to say it's been a positive year of challenge and demand. And for me, it's all about keeping your head together and getting up there and having fun. You know, it's been fun.
As a man now on the inside, what is the strangest thing you may have learned either about the band or an individual over the past year, or any surprises over the past year?
Um, well, I tell you, the band is is sort of very interesting to me because it's a family of four completely different individuals. The personalities are so different, and when you're on the inside and you see how the different personalities work with each other, and the great thing is there's communication, so that's solid. I can see how a few years ago it might have been a bit of a train wreck with the personalities, but it's just like brothers, man. I think the strangest thing is just how these guys get along, man. It's crazy. Everybody's completely different, man. Kirk's completely different than James. Lars is man, he's a completely different character, man. I tell you, Lars, he goes 110. Even when he can't, he's still pushing it, man. And you got to respect him for that. I don't know, man. I just think that the personalities are so different that it amazes me, and it's amazing that these guys have been able to stick it out this long and not kill each other. So I'd have to say the personality factor.
Your addition to Metallica obviously bumped you up at least a notch or two fame-wise. Now, over the past year, what have been the positive and/or negative repercussions of fame?
Well, the negative is that there've been a couple times where people have actually come to my house because I live in the same place. People I haven't seen in about 20 years, asking for tickets or, hey, what's going on, Rob? Hey, man, so you guys are playing at the Forum, man. Yeah, I'd like to get on some tickets, bro. What's up? That's kind of a drag. That's happened a few times, and that never happened before. So Metallica, and the popularity of Metallica has set me to a certain level where everybody wants free tickets. I guess just the whole learning process, being able to sort of stay on my toes, and the work ethic that I've learned from Metallica is pretty intense. The dynamic of communication, that is a factor in this band that I haven't seen before in any other situations, not to this degree. I think that's an amazing thing. That's extremely positive. Like I said, it's like the best university you could go to. It's amazing, man. You spend a day with Metallica, and you'll see what I'm saying. This is a smart outfit, and there's a lot of soul in it too. And that's what also separates this band from a lot of other bands. Is there's just so much soul. It's so deep. That's special, and that's positive to me.
Lots of fans surf and/or snowboard like you. Can you tell us about what got you into it, how good you are, maybe some advice or tips, etc.?
Oh man, I love snowboarding and surfing. Thank God Kirk's really into surfing as well. I started snowboarding probably a little over 10 years ago, and I tried skiing once or twice and didn't really click with it too well. Too many objects you have to worry about. 2 poles, 2 skis. It's too much for me. Snowboarding is great. It's just you're on the board when you're in powder. It's the same rhythm as surfing, same feel, same vibe, except you're riding this wave for a long, long, long time, and I love that. Over the years, I've been sort of up and down with it. I tend not to snowboard as much, when I'm on the road or if I'm in the studio, because as you know, injuries are very common, and breaking wrists are very common. So I don't like that. I can't have that. Surfing is spiritual, man. It's incredible. The ocean is like a magnetic energy field for me, and it's also a great place to not just release tension, but it's very therapeutic. You can get into a lot of sort of meditative moments out there. I've even found myself like yelling to nobody when I'm by myself out in the water, just kind of having fun, yelling at the wind. Like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up, dog? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I don't know. The ocean's powerful. I love it. I love the challenge. Um, Sometimes I even like getting my ass kicked out there and thrown around. It's humbling. The force and the power of all that is um, very humbling. And I try to challenge myself out there as much as possible.
How has Metallica's extraordinary challenge for constant excellence affected you, and have you noticed how it affects others in the band individually?
Absolutely. I mean, the word no does not exist in Metallica. It just does not. Um, a lot of that comes from Lars, man. Lars strives for excellence when it comes to challenges. I mean, he likes to, like I said, he likes to push it. Even sometimes when he may not be ready to, he still, wants to and gets his way, and that's at the end of the day, I think that's a great thing. So many moments with this band where just certain things that I would have not attempted, especially in front of, I don't know, 15,000. The other night, was 17,000. We played, um, I think it was about 3 new songs that we hadn't played ever, and it was just like, let's go for it. And James Kirk and I were just kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, and Lars was like, yeah, man, let's do it. Come on, it's like, and he got his way, and we did it. And at the end of it, we were, out there high-fiving each other, like, it was a major accomplishment for us. The word no, like I said, no does not exist, man. It's something that it's like a disease, It actually. So anyway, striving for excellence is something that I definitely have made a priority in my life now. And also being able to juggle the band and being able to juggle, the family and all those things. Metallica also strives on that too. All 3 are married. 2 of them have children, and they're all about the family now too. And that's something that's pretty amazing. And they've managed to work it all out to where they can spend quality time with the family and still get out there and have quality time, for the fans and towards the performances.
Fans online say that you've come a long way in a short period with Metallica. How would you say you've changed or improved as a person and/or bass player since joining Metallica?
Um, well, definitely one of the key factors in the last year. Once again, communication. That's one of the most amazing things about this band and what I've learned about being in a band. For my future, I don't know, whatever goes on for me in the future, creatively, when it involving any kind of group of people, it's like, definitely communication will always be a factor, and that's one of the key things that I've learned from this outfit.
I'm going to ask all the other members how they feel Rob Trujillo has changed Metallica as a band. How do you think they're going to answer?
Um, let's see. Wow, that's kind of a hard one. They're going to say it's given them the desire and the persistence to grow their hair long. Definitely. I think that they want long hair now. I don't know, man. What I try to do is I try to be low maintenance in general. Anything that I do, man, I think that it's important to get up there, do the best you can, give 100%, and not be a problem, not be a pain in the ass, and keep that positive energy flowing, And that's kind of how it's always been for me, I just try to maintain that, especially in music and in band situations. You're a family, and in just like in your with your regular family members, you try to keep the peace and and keep it together when you got brothers and sisters and your dad and your mom and your grandma and everybody, you know. With this band, you know, we are a family, and I just try to keep that positive vibe there and do the best I can, really. I don't know. It must be the hair, though. I think it's the hair. I'm going to go with the hair, man.
Metallica's now searching through its entire catalog now for the live shows. Now, with that in mind, what's your favorite Metallica song to play live and why?
Oh, man. My favorite Metallica song live. It depends. Right now, I'm having fun with Dyer's Eve, actually. You know, I've always wanted to play that song with these guys, and when I heard that they hadn't ever played this song, I thought, wow, that'd be great. You know, maybe I can try and get them to do it. And I slowly started kind of plugging it at them, and it's amazing that on certain nights we're able to actually perform the song and have a lot of fun doing it. But right now that's the funnest song for me, but it varies. There are nights where you know, a song like Battery, you know, is my favorite, and then there's nights where Harvester is my favorite. You know, it just varies. I tend to lean towards the older stuff, though. I don't know, there's something about it that just fires me up.
And now, a second show has been added. It's another mandatory Maytallica moment. Get ready to rock with Metallica! It's back! Maytallica 2004. It's Rob from Metallica! What's up? This is Rob from Metallica. Keep it here for the next mandatory Maytallica moment. The 2004 Madly in Anger with the World Tour. Mandatory Maytallica. Hey, it's back. Maytallica 2004. It's Rob, and this is a mandatory Maytallica moment. Keep it right here for your Metallica ticket hookup. Stay tuned for another mandatory Maytallica moment. Tickets are on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. and at 12 noon. Tickets are on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at 12 noon. Tickets are on sale now.